Hey fifth graders, it's Mrs. Trombley. It is time to do some practice problems from lesson 3. So you should have watched that first. If you haven't watched that yet and completed the notes in your notes packet, then you should shut this video off, go back and do that, and then come back. For this, there's not a paper that I gave you that you need. You can use your whiteboard to complete these problems. You can complete it on scrap paper if you'd like. I'm not going to be collecting this from you. And you could, if you wanted to, complete these problems in your math spiral, so you can look back to them if you like. But we did some examples like this in the notes, so you do have a copy of the examples. I just wanted you to be able to try some on your own. So it is really important that you do try to do some of these on your own, so you can make sure you're learning what you need to learn. So basically, in today's lesson, you learned how to write a number in expanded place value form. And basically, expanded form lets you know how much each digit is worth. Expanded place value form, it almost looks like a whole bunch of little multiplication problems. You basically show each digit multiplied by the place that it is in. So to start off, we're gonna do a few problems like that, where I give you a number and you're gonna write it in expanded place value form. And remember for this, once you see the problem, go ahead and press pause. Then I want you to solve it out on your whiteboard or scrap paper. And then when you're ready, press play to check your work. All right, here's your first one, 23,194. I want you to write this in expanded place value form. Remember, you can pause it and then press play when you're ready. Okay, I'm gonna start with this 2. This 2 is not worth 2. This 2 is in the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s place. So to show the value of this 2, I would multiply 2 times 10,000. Now for the whole value of this number, I would have to add to that the value of this 3 right here. This 3 is in the thousands place, so I could represent that as 3 times 1,000. It's worth 3,000. Plus this 1 right here is in the hundreds place, so it is worth 1 times 100. That 9 is in the tens place, so I would represent that as 9 times 10. And this 4 is in the ones place, so I would represent that as 4 times 1. So this is expanded place value form. If I just wrote it in expanded form, I could write this as 20,000 plus 3,000 plus 100 plus 90 plus 4. That would be regular expanded form. I know that 5th grade standards focus on expanded place value form, being able to recognize that this and this represent the same thing. All right, here's your next one. I have, well, actually I'm just gonna show it to you. I don't wanna read it because then I'll give away the places. So press pause, work that one out, press play when you're ready. Okay, so this 8 is not worth 8. I have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, and after 100,000s comes millions. So I need to multiply 8 by 1 million, and it's a 1 followed by 6 zeros. That's how much that 8 is worth. Plus, right, notice, there's a 0 right here in the 100,000s. I don't have to write 0 times 100,000 because 0 times 100,000 is 0. So if you see a 0 here, you don't have to write anything down here. All right, the next digit is a 1, and this 1 is in the 10,000s place, so its value would be 1 times 10,000. Plus, right, this 6 right here, that 6 is in the thousands place, so its value is 6 times 1,000. Plus 4 is in the hundreds, so I would write 4 times 100. Plus this 5 is in the tens place, so 5 times 10. Plus that 7 is in the ones place, so 7 times 1. So basically just take the digit and multiply it by whatever place it's in. Okay, here's your next one. Okay, welcome back. Remember, I hope you were pressing play and solving these out. Just writing down what I write down isn't gonna help you to apply this. So you do wanna make sure that you see the problem, you press pause, you work it out, and then watch me work through it. if you get something wrong, the idea here is that you can learn why you got it wrong so that you won't make the same mistake again. Okay, start all the way over here. This 2 is not worth 2. It is 2 times, we have to figure out what place that's in. So we have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 million. So I need to multiply 2 by 10 million, which is a 10, followed by 6 zeros. And your place value charts can help you with that. Can help you to see how many zeros to put after that. Okay, plus, there's a 0 here. That means I don't have to write anything. I don't have to write anything. I don't have to write anything. The next digit I see is this 5. This 5 is in the thousands place. So I'd write plus 5 times 1,000. Then in the hundreds place I see a 0. In the tens place I see a 0. In the ones place I see a 2. So I would finally write plus 2 times 1. So with this one, there were only 3 digits that we had to expand out. The rest of them are zeros, and when you multiply 0 by something, you get 0, so it's not necessary to list them. Okay, one more of this, and then we'll try to do the opposite of what we're doing now. So here's your last example like this. Write this out on your whiteboard or scrap paper in expanded form. Okay, so here we go. This 2 isn't worth 2. It's 2 times, and ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 millions. So I need to take 2 times 10 million. That's a 10 with the 6 zeros. Plus, okay, if this is 10 million, that's a regular million. So 4 times 1 million, that's a 1 followed by 6 zeros. Plus, okay, next I see this 5 right here. And this 5 is in the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s place. So I would take 5 times 100,000. And I see a 0. And I see another 0. And now I finally see a 7. So I'm going to include that down here. That 7 is in the hundreds place. So I would write 7 times 100. And then there's a 0 in the tens. There's a 0 in the ones. There's nothing else that I'd have to write for that one. All right. So that's the first thing you had to do. The second thing you learned how to do was to receive the expanded place value form and then write the number in standard form. So write what number is represented by the expanded place value form. So that's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to show you the expanded form, the expanded place value form, and I want you to write down the actual number. This is the one that I said was helpful if you solved it from right to left instead and started with the ones place, because remember, if there's a 0 in any of those places, it's not going to show up in the expanded place value form, but it needs to show up in your standard form. Okay, so here's your first one. Go ahead and write the number in standard form for that and press play when you are ready. All right, I am going to work this out, and I'm going to go from right to left, because I know it starts with the ones place there. And I do see a 1 right here. I see 2 times 1. That means I'm going to put a 2 in the ones place. Next to that, I see 6 times 10. That means I'm going to put a 6 in the tens place. Next, I see 2 times 100. That means a 2 goes in the hundreds place. And last, I see 7 times 1,000. That means a 7 goes in the thousands place. So I'm going to put my comma, 1, 2, 3. And we have 7,262. That's what you should have for that one. All right, here's your next one. Write this out in standard form. Okay. Starting at the right side here, I see 3 times 1. That means I have a 3 in the ones place. And next I see 8 times 10. So I should have an 8 in the tens place. Now, the next place right here is the hundreds place, but I don't see anything multiplied by 100. That means that digit must be a 0. The next thing I see is 3 times 1,000, so I need to put a 3 in the thousands place. And then up from 1,000 would be 10,000, and that's what's next here. So I would put a 9 in the 10,000s place. And then I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, a little comma right there. So this is what you should have. You need to have that 0 in the hundreds place. Otherwise it changes everything. You'd have 9,383 instead of 93,083. Right, next one. And there's 4 of these too, in case you're wondering. How long is this gonna go on? There's just 2 more examples here. All right, write that in standard form. Okay, when I look all the way over to the right, I see that it starts with 2 times 10, not 2 times 1. So if I don't see a number up here multiplied by 1, that means that the digit in the ones place must be a 0. If I'm multiplying 2 by 10, that means 2 goes in the tens place. And then next over from the tens place should be the hundreds place, and I do have 8 times 100. That means 8 goes in the hundreds place. And the next one over from 100 would be 1,000, and I see 6 times 1,000. And then the next one over from 1,000 should be 10,000, and I don't see 10,000, so that means I need a 0. And then from 10,000, I would have 100,000, and I don't see 100,000, so that would be a 0. And the next over from 100,000 would be 1 million. And that's what this says. This says 7 times 1 million. So I need a 7 to go in the millions place. And that's the 7th digit over this way. So for this, you should have 7,006,820. You need to include those zeros. And again, having that place value chart handy, it's gonna be a big time saver. So have that out while you're working on these. I gave you those tools to help you. Use them. All right, here's your last one, last example for today. Okay, starting with the ones place. I do see a number multiplied by 1. It's 1. That means I have a 1 in the ones place. And from the ones, the next place over will be the tens place, and there is a number in the tens place. It's a 4. Next over from the tens would be the hundreds, and there's a 4 right there, so I'm going to put the 4 in that hundreds place. Now when I move up from 100, I should have 1,000, and I see that I'm not multiplying anything by 1,000 up here, but I do have 10,000, so I need to put a 0 in the thousands place so that this 5 right here can end up in the 10,000s place. And that's it, 50,441. Right, so you finished your practice for today. See you soon.